Good evening, everyone. We'll be learning the difference between client-side scripting and server-side scripting using PHP language, which is very important. You might learn any other languages, that's fine, but we should know the difference between these two, which is very, very important for your SFMC developer certification. So having said that, so I'll be taking the support of a command prompt. First thing, usually when I'm on the live sessions, I'll be just pinging this to know the internet, whether it is still connected or not. Okay. I'll be taking one more command prompt where I'll be having a title of MySQL. This is where I'll be having the backend development. Okay. This is my database. So I need a notepad for my HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and also PHP coding. And I need a browser, which is Chrome, and I need one more, which is the server, which I have installed, and I'm using XAMPP for now. Thank you. So I'll give a right click. I'll run as administrator because I need a server so that it can run PHP. And don't worry, this is not completely a training on PHP. I'm taking the support of the language PHP to make you people understand why we need server-side language like AMScript, SSJS, GTL, PHP, Python. All these are some of the examples of server-side languages. I'll start it and I'll confirm whether it is running or not. And I'll be showing all the folder structures where we need to save all these things. Meanwhile, this is getting turned on. I'll go to E drive. I have a folder called XAMPP and htdocs. So this is the place where we need to store all the files, okay, with the name of the project. I'm still wondering why it is not started. So XAMPP started. Yeah, now it got started. Apache server is required to run the server. So I'm just running it, and keep an eye on the port number, which is very important. 80 is the port number in which it is running. Don't worry about this 443 as of now. This is the process ID, which is 712 and 10308. So we'll try to discuss this when we deep dive into networking concepts also, which is required to become a Salesforce Marketing Cloud consultant. 80 is the port. So now it is running. I need to confirm that. How do I confirm whether my server is running and it is able to run PHP? So I'll type localhost with port number 80. If I press enter, I should get this screen. Now let me show you when there is no server running, this page will not run. I have to refresh this. It's gone. It will throw an error, proving that server is not running. So the port number 80 is default. So there are two ways of checking it. One is by typing 127.0.0.1. This is the IP address of your local machine, even if you don't have an internet. Okay? We don't need all these things in Salesforce Marketing Cloud because it's already running by default. Okay? So I have a backend. So let me check whether my SQL is running or not. If it is not running, so now it proves that it is running. You root -p root. I'll create a database, and then based on that database, which is equivalent to database is equivalent to your account, and tables are equivalent to data extension. Okay. So coming to this one, my localhost is running. Now it's my duty to create the folder structure. So it's always a best practice to create a folder structure. I'll create this as sorry, an SSMC project hyphen CRUD operations, CRUD. What is CRUD operations? I'll explain you as and when we progress. Now, let us understand this. The first thing which I'll be doing is I'll create a file. Let me check whether PHP is running with PHP info. To know I'll save this where it's in E drive, XAMPP, history docs, and then I need to write this SFMC CRUD. Here I'll be writing info.php, and after typing this, I need to type my folder. So observe this, I'll explain this URL. First comes localhost or the IP address / SFMC hyphen CRUD operation in this info.php. Yeah, my PHP version is 7.2.31. So there are many things to know here. We'll discuss this as and when it is required, or else no need of this one. So just wanted to show you this. Now let me create, this is only for my purpose. I'll create a folder, and this will be for CSS, and I'll create a folder for JavaScript, and if required, I'll add more folders. The first file which will be loaded by any web application or a website is default.html or index.html. That is the first page which will be loaded by any website or any web application. So that is the basic information what you people have to know. So let me prepare some of the files. Meanwhile, I'll be pausing this video. Thank you. So I'll be typing an index.html, index.html. This is the first page which will be loaded. Every HTML file should have a head tag, but not mandatorily, and one body tag. Okay. So preferably we should have one more line which is doc type. What is doc type? This is the line which tells the browser. This is the line which tells the browser which version of HTML is running. What will happen if I don't write it? Nothing. Nowadays we are using modern browsers. They make it to be going with HTML5. If I write it, it is HTML5. If I don't write it, is also HTML5 nowadays. So I'll write the title, preferably in lowercase, within the head tag. This is the home page. Title can be written wherever you want. And how to run this? There are two ways of running it. Know the difference now? I'll double click on this. And what do I see? I see the file structure, the folder structure. This is not running in the server. HTML can be run without running on a server, but that is not the case with PHP. Can I run this? If I double click this, let me change this to be running in a browser, or I'll click right click, open with Chrome. Okay, it's not visible here, no worries. I'll go to browser, Control O shortcut key. I'll go to XAMPP, htdocs, the folder name. No, it won't run. You will see the output like this. Can you see this? Because it is running on a local machine now. It is not running through server. What is server? What is cloud? We'll try to know all those differences down the line. If I want to run PHP, I have to run it through this way. That is from localhost. That is the XAMPP. Okay, having understood with this one, now observe this. Can you see this? Home page, localhost. Even if you type index.html, or if you don't type it, even then the first page which will be loaded is index.html. Okay, that is very basic understanding of this index. Now from here it all things begins. So all the informations which we need. So how do we refer these folders? There are two types of folders. One is relative folders. The other one is absolute folders. What is absolute folder? Absolute folder means you will refer it E drive, XAMPP, htdocs. If you go with relative, index file wants to refer one of the files in JS or it might be in CSS. First, I'll try to type one simple alert code in this place. Watch my screen. This is my HTML. I want to write a styling. So paragraph tag, as we have learned in the previous session. So I want to have a color. Right? Save it as style.css and it is present in the same folder. How to refer this file? It's very simple. If I want to refer this file in the HTML, preferably the head tag, I need to write link, which is a self-closing tag, which will have two attributes. So I'm talking in the language of HTML now. Attributes, rel and the href. Href will be style.css and then relation is style sheet. This is the default value. Now I'll try to have a paragraph tag and it should be red in color. I'll save it and I'll refresh this one. This is good. Now observe what will happen. I'll just move this to CSS folder. Now if I rerun this, the color is gone. How do I refer this file? There are two ways of doing it. One is the absolute path. What is absolute path? Where I'll mention E drive / XAMPP htdocs / sfmc and then the CRUD operation. In that we have CSS. This is absolute path or obsolete path. So if I'm not getting this, what could be the error? How do I check it? Then we need this guy called developer tools. Let's see what is the error it is showing. It says not allowed to load local resources. This is an error because I'm running through server. Now double click on this one. Now I'm running through machine. This is absolute. Now I cannot do that when we are using server. Developer tools, very important. So what is that I need to do? I need to go with relative path. So how do I refer relative path? It's very simple. I have index file here. We have CSS folder and then we have others. So I need to go with CSS folder. Oh, this is relative path. Let me load this. Now it's working and let me check with the developers. Okay. I have a lot to learn like this. I don't have any errors. Some of them are warnings. It's not an error. So warning is fine. We can handle it. That's not an issue. Errors should be resolved. HTML is not so easy to debug. That's where we need. So this is relative path. Now, okay. So what is the ultimate output? What I'm expecting from this project is exactly this project is I want to create a folder or database here. Let me create it. Create database SFMC CRUD operation. I'll go with the same name, SFMC underscore CRUD. Best practice. Use SFMC underscore CRUD. Everyone need not have to learn this, but it's good that if you know it, it's not mandatory. Now I'll create a very simple table. Create table, just like creating a data extension. This is a programming way of creating it. Create table, and I'll call this one as subscribers. Subscribers, and you need only three informations. One is email, comma, first name, underscore name, comma, last name. That's it. Primary key, nullable, not nullable, I'll discuss in comparison later. I want to have a CRUD operation on this, that is create, read, update, and delete, which I will not doing completely in SQL, which is a part of training, which has already been completed to many people. So email address will be stored in the form of text, which is character, data type. Anything which I'm typing in uppercase, all these belongs to keywords of that language. First name, last name. First name is character 25 and last name is character. Okay, I'll press enter. The table should be ready. If I want to have some values here, and if I want to say select star from subscribers. If we don't have any, how to insert it? Insert into subscribers values, the email address, name, and the last name. Email address chandra@gmail.com, and then the first name, then the last name. I have it, correct? But everyone doesn't know SQL, right? That's where we need a front-end developer who gives us a form. So now I want to perform CRUD operation, CRUD, create, read, update, and delete. So I might not be in a position to complete this project today, but it's a good learning that we'll be learning the each individual things what we want to know. The responsibilities of HTML, CSS, JavaScript is already been taught, so I'll not deep dive into it. So from this page, I want to reach one more page, which is called as contacts page. Subscribers page. Anchor tag, open and close. Subscribers page. This will be taking me href, that is hyperlink reference. It is called as subscribers.html. It will be in the same page. So I need to create this page. And if I click on it, it should take me to that page. Target underscore blank. If I don't do this, what will happen? It will open the current page. I want to just go with the blank page, which is the next one. Okay. So I'll not do this for now. Let me keep it simple. So let me create one more HTML file. And now we know the basics, so I'll just deep dive into this directly H1 tag. This is subscribers page. Very simple. So let me go back to the index page. Yes, we have it. I click on this, and now you can see the URL. This is URL. URI will be there. URL, URI. So we'll know all those differences. This is subscriber page, and I want to have 4 links here. I want to create a new subscriber, update an existing subscriber, read all subscribers, all the data in that table, and then I want to delete a subscriber. Okay. So this is one of the beautiful projects which I will always suggest everyone to do it in Java, SFMC, or it might be in PHP, Python, Ruby. I want everyone to do this. It's always a good practice. I usually do this. Okay. So now I need to write an anchor tag. Href is equal to create.html. This is preferably all the URLs should be in lowercase. If you have more than one name separated by hyphen, read all and delete. Create. So I need to have all those 4 HTML files. So let's complete one before we end this day. We'll make use of it. So this is my HTML files, which will have a simple form, fill the form. After filling the form, it should take the value into PHP, and from PHP, it should be placed in this particular table. Okay, that's the only simple task which I want to perform. So to know the responsibility of HTML, JavaScript cannot communicate with your database. They are not capable of doing it. That's where the server-side languages come into picture, because server-side languages can communicate with HTML and they can communicate with your database. You might call with many names. I go with one simple word, which is a SQL table. Software might be anything. Okay. So let me show you this. This is your front end where you have coded something using HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So let's assume that you have a database. So database I'll usually draw like this. Sorry. This is my database and I have a table here. SQL table. Table or tables. Never forget SQL tables and your HTML cannot communicate directly. That's where we need a server-side language. Server-side language. You might choose any language which you want based on the technology where you are working. Any data coming from HTML will be read into this server-side language, and this code will communicate with your SQL. And if you want something from this SQL table, it will be read into this code, and from this code, it will be read into your front end. This is very clear. Okay, so when you watch this video, it would be great. Okay, I'll go with one simple task, creating. So I need one more HTML, a PHP, and rest. Don't worry about the other folks. .html, and I need a simple form. Note that I'm typing now every line, but in future I won't not do it. And this will take me to a method attribute, as I explained in one of the sessions. Now you might be wondering, Chandra, you stopped training us on form tag? No, it's there in the target of training action. This will take me to a page which I'll call it as PHP create subscriber dot php. This is a new file which I need to create. This is the one which will be having all the informations. Okay, I'm not going with relative and all. Everything will be the same folder. So I need to have this PHP code, and here it should read all the other data coming. So let me begin with this form tag. I need very simple an email, first name, least bother about the UI, how it looks, how beautiful it is. That is taken care by CSS. That is in future. So as I mentioned, I need an input tag, input type, name, ID, value. These are the four basic attributes you need to mention. Okay, perfect. Type I'll explain it further. Now I need to have two inputs. One is the submit button, the other one is the reset button. Go back and watch that video if you're not aware of it. So I have almost everything ready. The input type here is email. The input type here is text. And the input type here is text. Name is very important for us now because this is the one which will be read by your PHP. Apply it for your AMP script also and SSJs. Name is important. What is that you want to name it? Whatever you want. Anything you want. I'll go with email as E, first name as FN. This is very, very important. ID is required for your JavaScript. So preferably name the same, preferably same. ID should be same as name. It's not mandatory. Value, anyhow, user will enter. But it is a mandatory field or not, we'll decide those things later. So here we have all the information. Now it's time to just see whether we are hitting the right pages. Index page. It will take me to the subscriber page. We have create. I'll click on create. It will take me to create.html. That's good. If I click on submit, it is taking me to PHP. So can you see this one? Okay. Now PHP is responsible to communicate. This page is responsible to communicate. And I want to take you people. Anchor tag. Go home. What is the home page? Home page is your index.html. Wherever you want. This is the code which will take the data and store it in this table. I'll take $x is equal to $_get. It should be case sensitive, square bracket, single quotes, E. E is email. I'll have two more variables, Y and Z, which will be having FN and 11. Don't worry, we'll deep dive into these languages when it is required. Now it's very simple. I need to connect to my database and I will be going with a very simple insert. That's it. But before doing that, I'm very much interested in printing it. I want to know whether I'm able to read this. Correct? Okay, next 10 minutes. Okay, we can do that. Email. I want to know whether I'm able to read it in PHP and print it here. First name, last. Because I'm writing PHP, so echo space $x semicolon. This is how we print it. So it's been very long. I don't know whether it's the right syntax. I believe it is right. So it begins from the same index file. This is how we need to test it. We have no other option. Subscriber page, create. Let me type Chandra Gmail @gmail.com. This will not store it in database. This is just displays in. Yeah, email, first name, last name. Oh, okay. This looks good for me. And then I have to write these exact code of connecting to database. So I'll take a variable called connect is equal to MySQL. So I forgot. I really don't remember those methods. MySQL I _connect. Okay, so I'll pause this for a minute. Thank you. So I need to connect first. So I'll go with MySQL I underscore connect. At last, it's always the best practice to close your connection. MySQL I underscore close through the variable which is called, you can have any name. We need 4 informations here. So you can see, since it is, so first thing I need to specify the server, localhost, username, password, database sfmc underscore crud. This is the database. And then I need a query, $q is equal to the same query which we have learned, insert into subscribers values, single quotes, comma, single quotes, comma, single quotes, and then semicolon. I want to just compare here. Can you see this line? Same, insert into subscriber values. But we can have a procedural one. So I'll go with that later. So Chandra, okay, perfect. So now I need to mention this here, single quotes, that is $X as the email, $Y which is the first name, $Z is the last name. Now it's time to execute. MySQL I underscore query. I need to send 2 information. The first information is the connection, comma. The second information is the query itself. So hopefully this will execute because I know there is no error as of now. After this is completed, my expectation is I need to see that information here. Okay. Delete from subscribers. I don't need a single data here. Empty. Perfect. Empty. Create chandra.prasad@gmail.com. First name Chandra and the last name is Prasad. There is no error. Expectation is I should see it. Awesome. Achieved. Creation is done. We need to learn more. So we have 4 more minutes left for the day, but I'll use it. Thank you very much for watching this video. And pause this recording.